Good morning, everyone. Look around you. You are not just a body existing in a reality. You are an electromagnetic signature, a consciousness carrying immense creative power. But most of us are unconsciously bound by the habits of our past. We wake up, and immediately the familiar routine, the familiar thought, triggers the familiar emotion. And in that moment, the past has become our future. Mastery is the ability to break that cycle. It is the moment you choose to put your mind over matter and your consciousness over your conditioning. Here are the 7 foundational principles required to master your greatest creation, yourself. You must first understand that your body has become the mind. This isn't philosophical poetry, this is hard, biological fact. Your body is essentially a sophisticated organ of the unconscious, a living record keeper of every intense emotional experience you have ever had. Every time you have an anxious thought, your brain sends a corresponding electrochemical signal, a cascade of neuropeptides, down into the body. The body, like a highly responsive chemical plant, immediately manufactures the necessary hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and other stress chemicals, to match that emotional frequency. If you constantly have anxious thoughts or thoughts of victimhood or resentment, your body learns to crave this chemical rush. It becomes chemically conditioned, and the feeling of anxiety, fear, or frustration is no longer a temporary reaction to an external event, but a chemical signature that your brain and body are now physiologically addicted to. This state becomes your comfort zone. It's known, it's predictable, and your body clings to it even if it's miserable. Think of it. If you wake up and immediately feel a familiar sense of lack or stress about the day ahead, your body has already dragged your mind back into the past. It's demanding its dose of misery to reaffirm the known chemical identity. This is the emotional addiction loop. The feeling triggers the thought, which triggers the chemical release, which reinforces the feeling. If you are constantly thinking the same thoughts, making the same choices, and feeling the same emotions, you are literally creating the same destiny, day after day. You are using the familiar feelings of the past to create your future. The first principle of mastery, therefore, is radical awareness. You must become the scientist of your own life and notice, without judgment, when the programmed emotion is trying to hijack your future. The true struggle of creation is not against external circumstances. It's against the internal chemical conditioning of your own body. The moment you decide to think a new thought, a thought of gratitude, a thought of abundance, a thought of your desired future, your body will rebel. It will send a signal of restlessness, boredom, emptiness, or even irritability. It's throwing a chemical tantrum, trying to drag your mind back to the known, dense, and heavy feeling of the past. It is experiencing withdrawal because you are denying it its required chemical fix. This moment of rebellion is your moment of power. You must hold your ground. You must choose to put your consciousness over your conditioning. You cannot change your life while holding on to the emotions of your past, because those emotions are the chemical residue of your past identity. Mastery is the ability to sustain an elevated positive emotion, the feeling of your future, for longer than the body's programmed desire for the familiar negative emotion. When you refuse to react to the body's demands, you deplete the emotional energy that binds you to the past. You are separating your conscious mind from the body's unconscious programming, establishing the gap where true free will exists. Stop letting a feeling dictate a thought, and a thought dictate your destiny. It is time to unhook your future from the chemical anchors of your past self. We are taught to believe that our world is made up of solid, predictable matter. But science shows us a more astonishing truth. At the most fundamental level, everything is energy. In the quantum field, infinite potentials exist simultaneously. Your dream job, your perfect health, your greatest love, they are not things you have to find in the future. They are waves of probability existing right now, waiting for a consciousness to observe them. There is a potential you that is already whole, healthy, and successful. The key is understanding that these potentials only exist as waves of probability until they are observed by you, the creator. The observer effect is where your power resides. Your consciousness is the force, the energy that turns the invisible potential into the visible reality. You are the subjective mind acting on objective reality, But how do you, as the observer, choose one destiny out of the infinite field? It requires two things that must be perfectly aligned: a clear electric charge and an equally potent magnetic charge. Your clear intention, a focused, articulate thought of what you want, is the electric charge you send out. It's the information, the specific frequency you are tuning into. You are defining the coordinates of your new reality. But thought alone is not enough. You can think positively all day long, but if you feel worried, doubtful, or frustrated, your magnetic field, your state of being, is canceling out that intention. You are broadcasting mixed signals. This brings us back to the first principle, the need to recognize the emotional addiction loop. If your body is addicted to the low-frequency emotions of the past, that dense energy will always overpower the light, creative energy of your intention, trapping you in the reality you are trying to escape. To successfully collapse the wave, you must combine that clear thought with an elevated emotion, the feeling of it already being real. This is the magnetic charge, the drawing power. The feeling you generate is the energy that pulls the event toward you. You must feel the gratitude of the healed body, the joy of the fulfilled goal, or the awe of the unexpected opportunity before the physical manifestation occurs. This is why you must change your frequency, change your destiny. Principle 6. The future you desire has a specific electromagnetic signature, and you must become that signature now. The mistake most people make is that they wait. They wait for the wealth to appear before they feel secure, they wait for the relationship to arrive before they feel whole, and they wait for the healing before they feel grateful. In doing so, they are relying on matter, the external event, to dictate their internal state, thereby forcing the past, the current limitation, to create the future. That equation never works in the quantum world. You must flip the script, feel the emotion to make the event happen. You must generate the elevated emotion purely and powerfully, without any external reference, simply by thought. This is the moment when your focus moves from the dense world of matter to the energetic world of potential. The energy you are sending out must be coherent, organized, and powerful. A disorganized signal results in unpredictable, chaotic results. This is precisely why the third principle, achieve heart and brain coherence, is so vital to this process. When the heart and brain are in synchronization, your intention and your elevated emotion align, and you broadcast a clean, powerful, unified signal into the quantum field. That coherence transforms you from a victim of your reality into a master creator. As you begin to design and rehearse your future self, Principle 4, you are making the intention clearer and the elevated emotion more accessible, installing the neural hardware of that reality. And the moment this collapse happens is when you are completely disidentified from your environment and time, the sweet spot of the eternal present, reinforcing the importance of master the sweet spot of the present moment. Principle 5. When you feel that wholeness, that gratitude, and that awe, you are no longer seeking anything because you feel as though you already have it. You have achieved energetic completion. And when you are complete, when your internal state matches the energy of the event, the universe must deliver the experience to match your energy. When this perfect alignment occurs, the wave of probability collapses and your destiny unfolds. This radical act of focusing only on the internal state and letting go of the how is the essence of step into the unknown with trust. Principle 7. To master yourself, you must first master your internal state. We live in a world defined by stress, and stress is, fundamentally, a state of biological and energetic incoherence. Stress hormones, the chemicals of survival, are designed to hijack your system. When you are chased by a threat, real or perceived, your energy shifts from creation and growth into protection and preservation. This emergency state instantly puts the brain and the heart into a disorganized, chaotic, and incoherent pattern. In this incoherent state, your brain waves become erratic and your heart rate variability becomes jagged and uneven. This disorganized energy field, driven by the need to recognize the emotional addiction loop, Principle 1, makes you narrow your focus. You focus on matter, on physical things, on the problem, the person, or the place that you believe is causing your stress. Your attention locks onto the external environment, and your energy contracts. You are essentially broadcasting a static-filled, weak signal into the quantum field, and a chaotic signal can only yield unpredictable, chaotic results. To move from survival to creation, You must intentionally move your system into coherence. Coherence is a state of energetic and physiological order, where the brain and the heart are working in synchronization, no longer fighting each other. This is accomplished through a simple yet profound act of will, consciously slowing your breathing and placing your awareness, your attention on your heart space. Why the heart? The heart is not just a pump, it is the most powerful electromagnetic generator in your body. Its field extends many feet outside your body, carrying the information of your emotional state. Incoherence makes that field look weak and messy like scattered radio waves. But when you consciously slow your breathing, 6 breaths per minute is a powerful start, and genuinely focus your awareness on your heart, inviting in feelings of gratitude, appreciation, or care, you generate an orderly, powerful electromagnetic field. The heart's coherent signal, when organized, is approximately 5,000 times stronger magnetically than the field produced by the brain. When your heart and brain are synchronized, your entire system aligns. You stop wasting energy on the chaotic internal chemical conversation of survival, and you become a broadcasting tower that sends a clean, compelling signal into the quantum field. This is the mechanism that allows you to fulfill the requirement to collapse the wave of infinite possibilities. Principle 2. You now have the power supply, the coherent energy, necessary to charge the intention you are holding in your mind. Without coherence, your thoughts are merely idle noise. With coherence, your thoughts become destiny. This shift to order is also essential for practice. How can you effectively design and rehearse your future self? Principle 4. If your internal state is turbulent, you can't. Coherence calms the body down, moves it out of the critical thinking state, and allows you to enter the creative brainwave patterns necessary for true mental rehearsal. It allows you to generate the elevated emotions required to change your frequency, change your destiny. Principle 6. Without needing anything in your external world to validate that feeling. You are generating the magnetic field purely from the inside. Furthermore, coherence naturally pulls your awareness out of the linear flow of time. When the body is coherent and calm, the survival signals that constantly pull you toward worries about the future or regrets about the past quiet down. This organized energy helps you master the sweet spot of the present moment. Principle 5. Where you disconnect from your known identity and environment, allowing true transformation to occur. When you are in coherence, you are in a state of innate safety, and only in safety can you truly practice the principle of step into the unknown with trust. Principle 7. You're organizing your internal world so the external world can reorganize around your new design. If you want to create a new destiny, you must create a new mind to match it, and the process is literally neurological. Your thoughts are not just fleeting wisps of air, they are the architects of your nervous system. They are the electric impulses that fire the nerve cells that, over time, build the physical structure of your future self. The key here is the Hebbian principle. Nerve cells that fire together, wire together. Mental rehearsal is not merely positive thinking. It is the deliberate, conscious act of firing and wiring the neural networks that will eventually become the neurological home of your desired reality. When you close your eyes and vividly imagine the feeling, the smell, the look of your desired future, your healed body, the achieved goal, the unexpected opportunity, your brain does not know the difference between what you are imagining and what you are experiencing. Because the same neural circuits are firing, the brain begins to believe the experience has already occurred. By sheer repetition and focus, you are forcing your brain to reorganize itself. You are essentially pre-programming your nervous system, installing the neural hardware of your future self before it physically manifests in your environment. You are installing the mind of the person you intend to become. This is critical in breaking the cycles established by the first principle, the recognize the emotional addiction loop. Every time you mentally rehearse your future self, you are actively pruning the old, obsolete neural connections associated with the person you used to be, the one trapped in the familiar chemical signatures of past pain, victimhood, and stress. The old brain, defined by the limited identity of the past, loses its neurological real estate. You are installing a new operating system, overriding the internal programming that constantly tries to revert to the comfortable yet miserable stress chemicals. Mastery is forcing your consciousness to install the thought of a new future over the chemistry of the old one.
To make this practice effective, you must do two things simultaneously. First, your intention must be detailed, specific, and clear the electric charge. Second, the rehearsal must be rich with elevated emotion, the magnetic charge. You must feel the profound gratitude, the joy, the freedom, or the awe that comes with the realization of that destiny. The combination of a clear thought and a potent, high-frequency feeling is what makes the rehearsal a genuine, experienced reality for the nervous system. This dual act refines the blueprint required to collapse the wave of infinite possibilities, principle 2, by ensuring your broadcasted signal is clean and powerful. Furthermore, this rehearsal must be conducted from a place of energetic order. You must first achieve heart and brain coherence, principle 3. Survival emotions, which are chaotic and incoherent, keep your brain locked in high. Beta, the critical, analytical state that judges and doubts. Coherence calms the body, allowing your brainwaves to slow down into alpha and theta states, which are the mental states of dreaming, creation, and subconscious programming. It is only in these slower wave frequencies that you can bypass the analytical mind, the gatekeeper, and successfully implant the new program directly into the subconscious operating system. This is the moment when you truly begin to change your frequency, change your destiny, principle 6. The repetition of mental rehearsal also serves a deeper purpose. It trains you to disconnect from the external world. When you are fully absorbed in the internal landscape of your creation, you are naturally pulled out of the linear flow of time and space. This is how you master the sweet spot of the present moment, principle 5, the only point in which true creation can occur. You disconnect from the body, the environment, and time, becoming pure consciousness focused entirely on the potential you are collapsing. The future self you are designing is already whole. And by consistently generating that internal wholeness, you make the external manifestation redundant. This is the ultimate act of faith required to step into the unknown with trust, principle 7. You have built the belief system internally. Now, you can surrender the how because the internal circuitry is complete. The moment of genuine, transformative power is not stored in the archives of yesterday, nor is it anticipated in the projections of tomorrow. It exists entirely in the eternal now. Most human beings are trapped in a vicious, linear loop of time, living as prisoners of their emotional addiction loop, principle 1. This is because the past is simply the familiar collection of memories and feelings, which are stored as chemical signals and neural architecture in the brain and body. Every time you recall a past event, you fire and wire those old circuits, and you signal the body to reproduce the associated emotion, be it guilt, suffering, or resentment. Conversely, when you anxiously anticipate a future based on those past limitations, you are simply projecting the known past into a different timeline. Both of these cognitive states pull your energy away from the only moment where creation is possible, the absolute, singular, infinite present. To truly create a new destiny, you must transcend the three elements that define your current reality: your body, your environment, and time. Your body is tethered to the familiar feelings of your personality. Your environment is the outside world that constantly triggers those familiar feelings, and time is the mental framework that keeps you chained to the known outcomes. When you consciously decide to become nobody, no place, and no time, when you purposefully let go of the external sensory input and the internal monologue, you step into the creative void. This void is the sweet spot of the present moment, where you transition from being a physical object, matter, operating in a fixed reality, to being pure consciousness and pure potential energy. The analytical mind, the part of you constantly judging, comparing, and critiquing, resides primarily in high, beta brainwave states, which are characteristic of stress and survival. This analytical gatekeeper is the barrier between your conscious, critical thoughts and the subconscious operating system, where true change is installed. You cannot access and reprogram the subconscious, where the habits derived from the emotional addiction loop are stored, while your brain is firing in chaotic high beta. The only way to move beyond this gatekeeper and slow your brainwaves down into the creative alpha and theta states is by mastering the sweet spot of the present moment. When you are fully present, the outside world ceases to matter, the perceived threat is gone, and the body's survival chemicals quiet down. It is in this profound stillness, unbound by the fear of the future or the memory of the past, that the analytical mind relaxes its grip and the door to the subconscious opens wide. This transition into the present is intimately connected with the required emotional order, established in Achieve Heart and Brain Coherence, Principle 3. When your heart and brain are coherent, the body moves out of survival mode and into creation mode. This biological organization creates an internal environment that sustains the present moment. Think of it, it is impossible to be fully present if you are simultaneously in fight or flight, because survival consciousness is always projecting into the future to anticipate danger or scanning the environment for threats. Coherence disarms this mechanism, allowing you to settle into a deep, sustained stillness where time seems to disappear. When you lose track of time, you are no longer defined by it. You are operating in the timeless field of possibility. It is only from this unified, present state that you can effectively design and rehearse your future self. Principle 4. Mental rehearsal is not simply thinking about what you want. It is intentionally firing and wiring new circuits while bathing the body in elevated emotion. If you try to do this while distracted by the past or worried about the future, the signal is weak, muddy, and mixed with the low frequency residue of your old life. But when you master the sweet spot of the present moment, your focus is absolute, your intention is clean, and your body is in the optimal receptive state. This undistracted focus allows the new neurological pathways to be built rapidly and effectively. You are no longer dreaming of the future. You are experiencing it now, proving to your body that the destiny you desire is already a chemical and energetic truth. This mastery of the present is what generates the necessary high-frequency energy required to change your frequency, change your destiny. Principle 6. The emotions of wholeness, gratitude, and joy are the magnetic forces that pull your desired reality toward you. These elevated emotions must be generated internally, independent of any external cause. If you are waiting for success to feel grateful, you are back in the cause, in a defect trap of the old world. But when you are fully present and generating that elevated feeling from the quantum void, you are broadcasting a clean, coherent, and powerful electromagnetic signature. You are becoming the vibrational match to your destiny, right here, right now. This is the moment when the quantum field responds. The universe does not wait for you to catch up. It meets you exactly where your energy is. Finally, the discipline required to stay in the present moment is what allows for the ultimate act of faith, to step into the unknown with trust. Principle 7. The unknown is scary only because it lacks sensory information. It has no past memories to confirm its safety. But by shedding the past and anchoring yourself in the power of the present, you build an unshakable inner knowing. You surrender the need to control the outcome, realizing that a greater intelligence can organize your future far better than your limited analytical mind ever could. The present moment is the point of creation, the point of power, and the point of pure potential. You are not merely flesh and bone. You are a living, breathing energy center. Every thought you generate is an electric impulse, and every feeling you hold is a magnetic charge. Together, these two components create an electromagnetic signature that you are constantly broadcasting into the unified field of reality. This signature is not a passive reception. It is an active broadcast, and it determines your destiny. The universe, in its perfection, does not give you what you want. It gives you what you are. It responds directly to the energy you transmit. This principle, change your frequency, change your destiny, is the operational mechanism of creation. The challenge for most people is that their frequency is constantly tethered to the past. They remain chemically bound by the emotional addiction loop principle 1, where the body is signaling the brain to reproduce the familiar survival emotions of guilt, lack, or anger. These low-level emotions are dense, incoherent, and short wavelength, creating a contracted energy field around you. When you complain, judge, or live in anticipation of another worst-case scenario, you are sending out a magnetic signal that says, "I am defined by my history." The quantum field then has no choice but to reflect that history back to you, drawing circumstances, people, and events that perfectly match your internal state of limitation. You are, in effect, using your energy to recreate your known past every single day. The loop is self-perpetuating because the outside world constantly feeds the chemical need for the old emotion, reinforcing the low frequency broadcast. To break this cycle, you must learn to generate a high frequency, long wavelength energy that is completely independent of your external circumstances. This requires cultivating elevated emotions, the feelings of gratitude, wholeness, awe, and freedom. Why these specific emotions? Because they are expansive. They open the heart, increase the energy field, and signal to the universe that you are already in receipt of your desired future. Gratitude, in particular, is the highest vibrational state because it means you are experiencing the end result now. You are creating the magnetic draw required to successfully collapse the wave of infinite possibilities, principle 2. Your intention, the electric thought, selects the potential from the infinite field, but it is the elevated emotion, the magnetic feeling, that pulls that potential into physical manifestation. If your emotion is low and contracted, the distance between your thought and the physical reality is too vast to traverse. The high-frequency emotion acts as the powerful magnet. To ensure this broadcast is powerful and pure, it must be ordered. This is the absolute necessity of the work we discussed in Achieve Heart and Brain Coherence, Principle 3. An incoherent energy field where your thoughts and feelings are chaotic sends a messy, static-filled message. The field can't respond cleanly to static. But when you achieve heart and brain synchronization, your heart generates a massive, coherent toroidal field that broadcasts a clear, powerful frequency into the quantum field. This ordered energy carries your elevated intention with precision, ensuring the frequency you are transmitting is an exact vibrational match for the reality you wish to experience. When you are in coherence, your signal is loud and clear, and the universe instantly recognizes and responds to it. The practice of raising your frequency fundamentally depends on your ability to disconnect from the environment and its associated low-frequency triggers. This is why you must master the sweet spot of the present moment, Principle 5. If you allow the sight of a challenging person or the sound of a negative news report to dictate your emotional state, you have handed your creative power, and thus your broadcast frequency, over to the external world. Mastery means generating the feeling of wholeness from the inside, regardless of the outside environment. When you are truly present, you are outside of linear time, outside of your body's chemical addictions, and you are generating energy purely as consciousness. This is the moment where the most profound and instantaneous frequency shifts occur, moving you from matter, your predictable reality, to energy, your limitless potential. This internal work of shifting frequency is made tangible and permanent through the discipline of design, and rehearse your future self, Principle 4. By consciously closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing your future reality, experiencing the sight, the sound, the texture, and most importantly, the feeling of your new life, You are firing and wiring new circuits in your brain and bathing your body in a new chemical reality. This sustained internal experience changes your electromagnetic signature. You are literally moving from the frequency of your old personality to the frequency of your future personality. When you can experience this future reality so powerfully that the feeling becomes more real than the external world, you have achieved the frequency shift. You have become a new broadcast tower, sending out a powerful, clean signal of a new destiny. This consistent, elevated broadcast is the only true preparation for the ultimate liberation, allowing you to confidently step into the unknown with Trust Principle 7, knowing that the frequency you are holding will inevitably attract a new, miraculous future. The journey of self-mastery culminates in a single, radical act, surrendering the known and stepping bravely into the vast, unpredictable expanse of the unknown. Why is this the pinnacle of the work? Because the known is the past. The known is your current, predictable identity, the familiar set of problems, and the chemical certainty you've been living with. This certainty is dictated by the first principle. Recognize the emotional addiction loop. Your body, having been conditioned by the biochemistry of fear, pain, or lack, demands the known because it equates familiarity with survival. The body is the subconscious mind, and if it cannot predict the outcome, it perceives danger, telling you, "Stay in the misery. It may be bad, but at least I know how to survive here." The unknown, conversely, is the quantum field of infinite potential. It is the void where all new, limitless possibilities reside, and it is inherently chaotic, unpredictable, and without sensory reference. When you choose to step out of the physical constraints of your current environment and the emotional moorings of linear time, you are moving from matter, the dense, familiar world, to pure energy. This step demands absolute trust in a greater intelligence, a force that is far more organized and creative than your limited, critical human mind. This trust is the ultimate act of faith in yourself and in the intelligence of the unified field. You are declaring that you are ready to embody the reality you have worked so hard to change your frequency. Change your destiny, Principle 6, to attract. The failure to trust is always rooted in the need to control. Control is a low frequency state, an emotion derived from fear and lack, which contracts your energy field and keeps it incoherent. When you try to micromanage how your destiny should arrive, demanding a specific job title, or a specific partner, or a specific amount of money by a specific date, you are forcing the outcome based on the limited historical information of your current reality. You are trying to predict the future based on the past, which violates the very mechanism required to collapse the wave of infinite possibilities, Principle 2. The future you seek already exists in a different dimension, a realm of pure energy that does not conform to the linear logic of cause and effect. True mastery is realizing that your job is not to build the bridge to your new life. Your job is simply to provide the elevated energy and the coherent intention, and trust that the intelligence of the field will organize the bridge for you in the most miraculous and unforeseen ways. This ability to trust fully is only possible once you have achieved internal organization. You cannot surrender control while your body is still addicted to the chaos of survival. You must first achieve heart and brain coherence, Principle 3. Coherence calms the central nervous system, moving your body out of the trauma-driven high, to survival state. When your internal world is ordered, the fear associated with the external unknown dramatically diminishes. Coherence creates an internal safe harbor, allowing your analytical mind, the gatekeeper of doubt, to quiet down. It is in this state of deep, sustained peace that genuine trust is born. You are no longer reacting to life from a place of biological chaos. You are responding from a place of internal order, which creates an energetic buffer against external uncertainty. Furthermore, the consistency of your inner work provides the necessary emotional evidence for this leap of faith. The hours you spend in your internal laboratory practicing design and rehearse your future self principle 4 are not just building neural networks, they are generating the feeling of your future reality in the present moment. By generating the elevated emotion, gratitude, awe, freedom from the inside, you are proving to yourself, chemically and neurologically, that the unknown outcome is already your truth. This means you have successfully mastered the sweet spot of the present moment principle 5. You are telling your body, I don't need external proof to know this is real. This inner certainty allows you to release the need to know the how. The inner work is complete. The external event is simply the natural, delayed consequence. When you finally surrender, when you relinquish the mental script of what you think must happen, you open yourself to the synchronicity and randomness that define the quantum field. You are declaring that you are whole and complete in this very instant, and because you are radiating wholeness, you become magnetic to the reality that reflects that wholeness. Stepping into the unknown is the ultimate test of your transformation. When you cease to be afraid of the future because you have chosen to no longer be defined by the past, you transition from being a victim of your circumstances to becoming a true master of your destiny. You are no longer looking for the miracle, you become the miracle, and the universal intelligence conspires to meet you in that elevated, trusting space, bringing you a life grander and more beautiful than the one your past self could ever conceive.
The journey to self-mastery is not about learning something new. It's about unlearning the old programming. It's time to stop waiting for your environment to change to feel whole. Become the scientist of your own life. Experiment with these principles, watch your energy shift, and begin to witness the miraculous changes that occur when you finally become the creator of your reality. Get comfortable with the unknown, because that is where the magic lives.